Bitcoin is right now breaking down from this ascending wedge that we've been forming over the last couple of days, many days actually, and now breaking of course down to the downside here. Bitcoin, looking at this chart, has formed a triple top, and this is downward sloping, so this is not necessarily a good thing to see. And why is that? Well, why is Bitcoin going down right now? One of the reasons is that if we look at the Coinbase Premium Index, it's very negative. And what does it mean? Well, the Coinbase Premium Index suggests that large institutions in the US are selling Bitcoin because they usually buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, a US-based exchange. If the index is negative, this means that the price on Coinbase is less than it is traded on other major exchanges. And this just indicates that we have a lot of selling pressure right now for Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin also is trading at the top side of our resistance here on the daily. We've been looking at this resistance for many times, and we're at the top side. So we're in our bear flag pattern here, most likely going down very soon. And the next news is, what do I think will happen next? Well, I think there's two scenarios that can happen next. Either we go a bit lower. So today we actually hit $78,000, significantly down. Just a few days ago, we were at literally $81,000, $82,000. Now at $78,000, and global markets are looking weak here. We've seen some sell-off in the S&P and some of these larger markets happening. And right now, looking at Bitcoin, what I can see is basically this kind of pattern here. So we had this major support line, which has acted as previous resistance, and now previous support, but we've broken down from here, and it's pretty much confirmed. If the end of the day it ends below this line, which is pretty much at around about $79,000. So if we stay below $79,000, it's confirmed that we broke to the downside. And either we're being supported right now by this region here, which you can also see right here. This is pretty much the region right now. Either we get a bounce from here and go to the upside, which can happen. Look, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict what will happen, but we just have probabilities. Or if we go below that, the next major support region is right here at around about $75,000 to $74,000, about $75,000, where we can also get a bounce from. I still believe we're going a bit higher to fill that CME gap. So I would not be surprised if we go a bit lower. And then of course go to the top side where we have our open CME gap at pretty much $84,000. And this is the gap. So let me zoom out a bit here so you can see it. The gap is at $84,000. And that is the price point where I think we can still go to. We have not filled the gap yet. We know that like 95% of the time we fill this gap, or 90% of the time, something like that. So most of the time we fill the gap. We've not filled it yet. And yes, it looks like we are forming a top. The bulls are being rejected. We try to go above, but we seem not to be able to go above. The more often we get rejected, the higher the likelihood that we break to the downside eventually. And you know the drill. I think we can still go up. I have a short position open. So this is my short position here. We can see we're in a bear flag pattern. I always open it because we're at topside level resistance here. And my position is fourfold. So I have opened a short at $81,000. $82,000 right now. These two positions are open. I'm in a good profit, but if we go up from here, it's also okay with me, because eventually this is a long-term position for us to be able to go down over the next couple of months in the bear market, and that's where I want to profit. I don't want to profit here from a short move. If I sold right here expecting us to go higher, that would be very foolish, as it goes against the trading strategy. The strategy is we're gonna take the top somewhere in this region and then go to the downside. If we break up again, that's fine with me. I will not do anything. I will just add to my position at 83, then add to my position at 84,000, of course, waiting for the drop to the downside. And looking, of course, at the liquidation heat map, we have to see, this is a magnet for us to go to, and it is indicating where we might be heading towards. So we had a lot of liquidity building up on the bottom side over the last couple of days, and we can see that most of this has now been hit. It has been targeted. We can see there's a bit more left to the bottom, pretty much all the way to $76,000, $77,000. So I would not be surprised if Bitcoin goes down to $77,000. The reason also I think we went down first before up, because we had a lot more liquidity on the bottom side. So Bitcoin usually follows where most of the liquidity lies, which has been on the bottom side. We had all of this. It has not been hit. Now it has been hit. And Bitcoin likes to trap and fool people. So always goes in a direction where most pain is inflicted on the markets. Right now that is here around $77,000, and then of course we can see there's some more all the way up here to $84,000, which is pretty much perfectly in line with our CME gap. So no need to worry, guys. Everything is under control. If Bitcoin moves down, that is fine. If Bitcoin moves up, that is fine. Eventually our plan is to take the trade where we make profit from Bitcoin's move to the downside over the next couple of months. Also, we have the weekend right now, of course, so if we form a CME gap, we have to look at the price that Bitcoin closed on Friday, which is $79,165. Right now, Bitcoin is at $78,000. So if over the weekend Bitcoin stays below $79,165, we will create a CME gap on the upside, which is acting as another push for us to go to the top side. So what I think can happen is that over the weekend, we will go further down. This is my prediction now. I think we can go further down over the weekend, potentially to fill this liquidity at here at $77,000, and then we will create a $2,000 CME gap, which will then be filled, right? This will look something like this. So Bitcoin will go down to $77,000 on the Monday, and then we have all of this as a CME gap, which will then probably be filled. Or of course, Bitcoin just stays at this level and doesn't form a big CME gap. And then I still expect us to go to $84,000 as always. And Bitcoin, of course, trading in this pattern, looking at the weekly chart, we are exactly at our 200-day simple moving average line, which is the price average over the last 200 trading days, which has previously acted as major resistance in a bear market. We are exactly at this price point, the orange line. We are exactly being rejected from here, and just as we have been every single time in the last few bear markets. So we can see in the last bear market, we got rejected here once, we got rejected twice, and also even the bear market before that. Look at this, it has acted as perfect rejection for Bitcoin to go lower at this price point, and that's exactly where we are trading right now. On top of this, if you look at this major line of support, it has acted as resistance, support, and now it's acting as perfect resistance in line with the 200-day simple moving average. If we now look at Bitcoin here on this chart, we can see that it's always taking us approximately 12 months, so 365 days from the top of the bull market to the bottom of the bear market. And that has been pretty much the same every single time. Yes, in the second cycle, it took us about 400 days, but if history repeats, we're gonna bottom out approximately in October of 2026, which is why I am taking a short position from here to be profiting from the downward move from approximately these $80,000 regions to eventually down to, of course, October, which is, let's see where we go, but I think will be around $50,000. So no need to worry, guys. Stay with the strategy, stick to the strategy. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.